missionaries from Syria went down to what then was referred to as the Kingdom of Aksum, which is in modern-day Ethiopia, and they brought with them a whole host of literature.
Most people think of the Bible as a single, unchanging book, but that's not true. The Ethiopian Bible is a far larger, older collection, and it holds secrets. We're about to explore the terrifying words Jesus spoke after his resurrection, found only in these ancient texts. We're going to pull back the curtain on these hidden gospels. You won't believe the chilling details he gave about dark forces or the warnings he issued about his own followers. The thing is, this isn't just history. It's a message that some believe was meant for us today. The Covenant of the 40 Days. For almost 2,000 years, Christians have been told the same story. Jesus rose from the departed, appeared to his followers, and later went up to heaven. But in Ethiopia, ancient Christian books tell a much deeper and stranger version of that story. It's a version that most people in the West have never, ever heard. You see, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church has one of the oldest and biggest Bibles in the world. Their collection has 81 books, way more than the 66 books in a standard Protestant Bible. Some of these books were never accepted by the Roman Church. They include writings that talk about what Jesus taught after his resurrection, showing that his message did not end when he left the tomb. These old writings were kept safe for centuries by Ethiopian monks who carefully copied them by hand. They believed these powerful words must never be lost. In these books, Jesus did not just stop teaching after he rose. He shared hidden truths, he gave terrifying warnings, and he helped prepare his followers for what was to come. One of the most important of these books is called the Book of the Covenant, or Mashafi Kedan. It claims to record the things Jesus said to his disciples during the 40 days after his resurrection, but before he went back to heaven. The thing nobody tells you is that the Jesus in this book speaks not just as a teacher, but as the King of heaven and earth. He tells his followers to go into the world and build God's kingdom, but not by using worldly power or conflict. Instead, he says the Holy Spirit will be their true power. He teaches that what happens inside a person's heart is more important than what happens in temples or rituals. But this is where it gets chilling. He also warns that over time, people will twist his words. They will use his name for their own gain. He says there will come a day when people shout his name in the streets, but their hearts will be far away from him. They will build huge, beautiful temples of gold and stone, but forget the real temple, the temple of the human soul. To put it mildly, these warnings sound exactly like the world we live in today. What many overlooked is that these prophecies get incredibly specific. Jesus predicts wars, lies being treated as truth, and families falling apart. He says a great darkness will come when people no longer know his true voice. One powerful line says, "Blessed are those who suffer for my name, not in word, but in silence." It shows a Jesus who walks with people who suffer quietly, the forgotten and unseen ones who still believe deeply in their hearts, not the ones making the most noise. Another book from Ethiopia called the Didaskalia gives practical advice about how to live as true followers. It says people should live simply, fast, pray often, and stay away from corrupt rulers and greedy traders. Jesus warns against false leaders who look holy on the outside, but in secret devour the houses of the poor. These texts paint a picture of a final, urgent message that was meant to guide humanity. But these warnings were just the beginning. The truly terrifying part was what he showed them next. The apocalypse they left out. While some books focused on covenants, others recorded visions. And these are the ones that are truly terrifying. Many people are crazy about the book of Revelation, but the Ethiopian Bible holds texts that are even more graphic. Among the books and traditions they preserved is the Apocalypse of Peter. While fragments of this book were known, the Ethiopian version is one of the most complete. And what does it contain? It describes Jesus, after his resurrection, taking Peter to a high mountain to show him two things: the glory of the saved and the graphic, horrific torment of the damned. This isn't a simple story of good and bad. The Jesus in this text describes the lower realms with chilling detail. He shows Peter a river of fire and a lake of darkness. But the thing is, the punishments weren't random. They were specific. The text describes that those who twisted justice and took bribes were immersed in a river of fire up to their knees. Those who bore false witness were shown chewing their own tongues in agony. It's a vision so intense, so specific, that it makes Dante's Inferno look like a children's story. Why would Jesus show this to his most beloved disciple? The text suggests it was a warning. It was to show the consequences of the corruption, greed, and hypocrisy that he had just warned them about. He was showing Peter what was at stake. The same texts also include a prophecy about the future of faith. Jesus says that in the last days, his voice will rise again from unexpected places, from deserts, from mountains, and even from the children of those who were enslaved. He says his Spirit will speak through those who are ignored by the powerful. This idea turns the normal image of the church upside down. It means that truth may come not from those in charge, but from the humble and forgotten. In these Ethiopian writings, Jesus talks about angels and he talks about dark entities. He tells people to pray with their whole